This is Todd County Tech Department. We'd like to welcome you to the Chromebook introduction. And the first thing we're going to do is connect to the Wi-Fi. Right now I'm connected to Todd County School District Wi-Fi. So when you get your Chromebooks, you got to make sure you connect up to the Wi-Fi because that's how Chromebooks log in. Almost all of our accounts have at k12.st.us. It'll be like the first two digits of your name, followed by four digits. Like this is Freddie Falcon, so Freddie Falcon 0336, and then you'll get a 12-digit password to use. And that'll be provided by your school. You can contact any one of your schools there for the password. Also, there's a little I up there. If you see, that's where you can actually see your password as you type it in. So if you've been doing little typos in that, you can change your password. It's 12 digits, usually three digits, and then a dash, three more digits, and a dash, and then four digits. If you're new to the school district, you'll need to do the new account. So this is the brand new user. We hit accept and let's go on. And just get started here. So we are connected to the Wi-Fi. This is the startup page. This is the fifth grader from TC Elementary, and we have some bookmarks that we're going to push out now that we're going online. We've got two things. We've got South Dakota Schoolology and our TCSD Schoolology and South Dakota Virtual School. Those will be in the left-hand side. This is the startup page. It may change as the school year progresses depending on what school you're in, what grade, what we push out to you. You can also make your own bookmarks. So this is what a Chromebook interface will look like. You notice you've got the Todd County Elementary background, and at the bottom there we can see that there's a circle there that'll pop up your apps and that. You can hit that arrow up and see what's all there. Chrome, Google Play Store, Files, Docs, Slides, Sheets, and Google Drive. We'll talk a little bit more about Google Drive later on. We also able to push out some things at the bottom, but the very first thing I want to make sure that you do when you get your Chromebooks is go into the settings on the bottom right and go into about this Chrome OS. And you have to be on the network to do this, and check for updates. This one's up to date, but this will make sure that all your apps work. So we want to make sure we do the update. So that's down at the bottom, and it's a little gear. Then about this Chromebook, and just go on into the update. Next thing I want to look at is how we browse around in Chromebook once we're online. We'll talk a little bit more how we can use it offline to do documents and that, but this is basically, so those two online options that we have now. The school district has purchased Schoolology. Now this login page may change a little bit as we have a single sign-on, which is going to be the same user that you logged into your Chromebook with. It's linked with Google, and then Google's a Chromebook, so that may change. You may get an extra splash page. The other option that we have is South Dakota Virtual. This user will come from the state, so whatever option you've chosen. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. If you see the little S down at the bottom, that's the Schoolology login. It's the same thing, except you have to search for the school, so we'll search for Todd County here. And you'll notice that a list of all the schools that Schoolology has will pop up. And we're going to look for the Todd County Elm right now, which is like Todd County Elementary. If you notice the web page it went to was tcsd.schoolology.com. So we're going to do another search here for HEDOG. So if you're at HEDOG, you notice that result didn't pop up. So I go back to Todd County, and no matter what school you're in, you can always go back to the district, and you'll see all the list of schools here. This district is the Todd County School District 661, and that will get you into that. And it's going to redirect you probably to a Google Splash page here. But this is the app. Since we're on the Chromebook, We prefer that you use the Chrome interface. So I'm going to get out of the app and see where the Chrome right there. This is how you get around on a Chromebook, is basically through web pages. This will redirect you once you start to log in. And you notice the TCSD schoology.com is the address. And you will get another splash page after that. I'm not going to get in too deep into other things. I just want you guys to know about the Chromebook. We're going back to the apps here. Google Drive is where all your documents and files will save on the Chromebook as you're using it. And we'll also show you how to do save from your Google Drive as well as on your Chromebook when you're offline. So we clicked on Google Drive, and now we're in Google Drive, and we want to make a document here. And how we make a document, first I'm going to take a look at the settings and make sure that you can save this to your machine as well. As if you go to settings, the little gear on the top there, it says create, open, edit documents on the device while offline. That's checkmarked automatically on our district Chromebooks, so anytime you log in, it's going to save it down to your machine once you open it up. So we're going to create a new Google Doc here. And you can do sheets, which is like an Excel sheet, or like Doc is like a Word document. So we're actually going to create a Google Doc here. Forms is like a spreadsheet, and there's all types of stuff that you can do, but we're just going to do a simple document. So I'm going to hit the plus sign here. Go to Google Docs. Then I'm going to title my document. And you'll notice as right next to the document, it's going to start saying some stuff like saving online or saving to my drive. And you'll notice that will change a little bit once so we're going to call this offline. Test. Test Google or Google Doc. Offline Google Test sounds good. You see the little save there where it says got? It's going to start, it's saved it to the drive right now, which is online, so you have to be online for that. So I'm just going to type in offline test Google Drive or document. Student, so student Chromebook. If you see up there by the offline test, and a little later on I'm going to turn off the Wi-Fi and log back in and show you the difference between how you logged in when you're online and when you log in offline. So now that document has been made, it's in the Google Drive. And when we look at it offline, we're going to go to files, but this is going to show you your drive. You see the offline test Google. It's in my drives, and we'll open that up. You basically see our document there with all the edits that we made, and it says save to drive. And anytime you make an edit on there while you're online, it'll save. So I'm going to shut my Wi-Fi off here. And then a little later on I'm going to log off. These are just some notices that you have as we may push things out to your device. So just where we went to on the side there, I'm going to open that back up and shut off the Wi-Fi. That's where you get all your connections to, like the internet and that. So I'll show you that we're logged off from the Wi-Fi. I'm going to sign out. Now we're going to get a different page here. And it's going to say no internet, something like that. My computer's signing off right now. It's going to show back up here. I still have the property of Todd School District in the background, but you notice I don't have a network. But the little, because my Wi-Fi's off. But I'm going to go up to the sign in as an existing user. There's a little blue tab without turning Wi-Fi on. I'm going to close my Wi-Fi here. close my settings and go sign in as an existing user. You notice the back button doesn't work right now because you can't get to that sign in page that had the k12.sc.us. So we're going to sign in as our existing user, FF. And our 30300 or 3066, and you still have to remember that password. That's a 12-digit password you can get from your school. Once we log in, we're not going to have access to the internet like we did before, but we will have access to our documents. And so you can type from home and that. So we're going to show you a couple things here, and we're going to go to a different place here. We're going to go to the files section instead of the. Notice I have no internet, so I don't get that that splash page we had. So because the internet's off, I'm not connected. So if you don't have internet at home, you can still do some documents and do some things, but you have to connect to the Wi-Fi to download it first. So from the Google Drive. We'll show you how to access it here. Remember, we went to Google Drive. Now we're going to go to Files instead. And Files are where things that reside upon your Chromebook exist. So we're going to go to Files, and we're going to go look down at the Google Drive. Remember, we had that little checkbox back there that said, so offline test Google Doc. So that's saved as a G-Doc. It's going to load up what we typed in earlier, and we're going to make an edit here. And notice that there's a little slash in the offline test Google, and now it's going to save to my Chromebook or device. It'll say up there instead of saving to the online. So when I edit something offline, if you guys notice right next to the title there, offline test Google, it's going to start saying saving to device. And then once this device connects back up to the internet, it's going to upload that to your My Drive, so teachers can actually share a document with you to your, like the Freddie Falcon account that we made here, that FF3066 username. So I've saved this to my device. We're also purchasing some USB drives for different schools that we'll be able to put in and so I'm gonna insert a USB drive in a little bit here, just to show you the difference, and it's gonna show you on the file structure. So I'm gonna sign back out, then I'll get that USB drive here, and turn the Wi-Fi back on, and show you how it saves that file that's on your computer right now or your Chromebook back up to the cloud or to the Google Drive. So we're going to turn our Wi-Fi back on. Down in the settings, a little gear down there. And I'm just going to turn the Wi-Fi back on, connect up. I know if you're using your Wi-Fi from your house, it's going to show up. So the list of files usually will be like a GWIS or Golden West connection, or if you have an AT&T hotspot, or if you're connecting up to free Wi-Fi somewhere. Someone log back in. You notice how the login has changed back to the k12.sd at the end. Now you're not going to be able to log into these devices with your Gmail account or a personal Gmail. You have to use the K12 account from the school district. I'm going to put in my password here. And like I said before, you can hit the little arrow, the little eye there, help you with your password if you forget it or have a typo. Make sure you're typing in correctly. It's 12 digits, and some of them are pretty hard to remember. So write them down, put them on your Chromebook. So now you see that we're logged in. We get that Think Central pop-up screen because we have a fifth grader. And that was the pop-up screen we had for the fifth graders at TC Elementary. So into the files again, take a look at My Drive. You'll see that document still here. I'm going to close it. come back down to the little arrow or the little circle at the bottom. Open that up. You see the My Drive now instead of the files. I'm going to go to My Drive, the offline Google test, and what's going to happen here is it's going to originally have the online version, and it'll pop in the stuff that's saved from the device here pretty quickly. Saved to OneDrive. You see I put that edit in there. So now that we're online, we're able to save stuff. So we're going to make a couple of changes here, maybe make it bold or do some formatting changes. Not going to add too much red. Increase the font size. So just like you edit any document, you can go in there and edit. And just a brief introduction here to show you that we can edit stuff. You notice how it's saving to the drive and not to the device now, because we are, if you can look up by the offline test, it's been saving up there. So that little cloud up there on the top. So we're going to close this document. I'm going to go back to the bottom here. Going to open up the files, and now we're going to look at that USB that I talked about earlier. How can we get like a video or something? I know some of the schools may be giving out USB drives and some tutorials or videos from the classes that they're going to be opening. So once I plugged in a USB called TCSD band, it's going to pop up that file folder, and I do some of the online stuff. So I have a little video here that the streaming for the sports department that we play. It's called Three Amigos. I'm going to play that here. It may not play totally on there, but it's just a little video. So, and that was from a USB drive. It just opened up the file, and we're able to browse the drive. So if somebody gives you a document or something to share, to look at, you can actually put it in your Chromebook and take a look at it. You'll have to open up the file folder to look at that. Whatever the USB that you get is named, you'll be able to see that. So I'm not going to play the whole video here, but I did have a little bit of sound with it that I kind of deleted off. So it's just some stuff on the drive that we looked at that I have on the drive I put in. I'm going to unplug that drive here. You'll see a little notice that pops up that says, accidentally unplugged. Instead of unplugging it, you usually want to hit the little eject button. So where are our documents at? Sometimes Chromebooks are a little hard to look for. So if you get something from a teacher, it's going to be on the drive that you get. But most of the time, you're going to be using the Google's Drive and the My Drive rather than the offline stuff. So that just tells you where that stuff is sitting at so that you can get in there and edit your documents. There's other types of media that you can look at, like video and stuff like that. So this is just showing you that we can save it as a Word document, move it to a different folder, stuff like that. But I generally like to keep it in the My Drive folder unless you're really getting a lot of files that you want to save. So saving it to your computer or your other places you can make folders and put stuff in your Chromebook. Sometimes it gets a little hard to find that stuff, so I generally like to stay within My Drive because then it'll automatically go up to the cloud and you're not going to lose it. So if your Chromebook breaks or something, you still have that document online. So I'd recommend that you do use the My Drive over top of putting on a flash drive or something like that. Just keep a good practice for us here. So if you do log in, say we come back to school and you need to use another Chromebook in school, you can use it there. So a good practice to stay on the My Drive, and if you go from grade to grade, you can actually look at some of your old documents, see how you improve. Audio, video, you guys seen that we could play videos. That stuff can also be saved on the Chromebook. We're not going to go too deep into anything like that. We're just doing an introduction here. So that'd be about the end of it here. show you guys how to log out of the Chromebook, and we did do a USB drive and get back to the splash page, the entry page. Remember, it's a k12.sd.us user. This is basically the Chrome interface here. We're going to sign out of this, and hope to see you guys this year. Stay tuned for some more videos as we get from the tech department here. This will be the splash page. Just remember to update your Chromebooks when you get them, or have the staff update them at the school. Get your login, your k12.login, k12.sd.us login in the Chromebook. Have a great year, guys.